I am in Narva in the far east of Estonia, and behind me is mainland Russia. This is about the closest anyone from the west can currently get to Russia, and the two countries, the eastern world and the western world, are separated only by this 110-metre bridge. This is Estonia's third largest city, but it is land that Vladimir Putin, months after invading Ukraine in early 2022, hinted was historically Russian. When Russia annexed Crimea 10 years ago, one of the questions Estonians started asking was, is Narva next? The fear was, like something out of a war movie, that tanks could come trundling over that bridge behind me in the dead of night to take control of this small corner of Estonia before anyone could react to stop them. Public officials here say the chance Russia will invade a NATO country like Estonia is now non-existent, but there is still the need to stack that bridge with barbed wire fences and concrete blocks to prevent any vehicles from travelling across. Looking around the town, it's fairly easy to see why Vladimir Putin and some on the other side of this border might feel that this is just an extension of Russia. 96% of people here speak Russian as their first language. During World War II, this city was so badly bombed that many of its native Estonian residents moved away to the west of the country. When the Soviet Union rebuilt it in 1945, it was Russians that came over the border and moved in. Most of the Estonians never came back, and such is the influence from across that side of the Narva River that even propaganda films from Russia's May night victory parade are being beamed on giant screens and loudspeakers, with some crowds, a couple of dozen people gathering on this side of the river on viewing platforms to look across and watch. Around 1 in 4 people in this city have foreign passports, and they can use those to travel to Ivangorod on the other side of this bridge, where hundreds of Estonians used to every week take their cars across and fill them up with cheap Russian petrol before simply driving home. All transport between Estonia and Russia has now ceased. Residents of this city with passports for both nations can still cross the bridge on foot to go and see family and friends, go shopping, or even use one of the waterside bars on the Russian side of the Narva River. The Estonian position on Ukraine is one of support. This country has given 500 million euros to Ukraine, and the city hall here is even adorned with the Ukrainian flag. But yet, talking to locals here, many have wished us a happy Victory Day, celebrating a Russian holiday. With so many ethnic Russians here, it's safe to assume that somewhere in this city there is a sense of closeted support for what Putin is doing in Ukraine, even if they want peace between Russia, Estonia and the NATO bloc. To my left here, there are 2 historic forts, one from the 13th century and one from the 15th century. These are now both disused, but one has the Estonian flag and one has the Russian flag. They serve as a stark reminder of the irremovable tension between these two nations and the everlasting potential there could be conflict between the East and the West. Estonia's position on Ukraine, like the rest of NATO, is one of support. It's given 500 million to the Ukrainian army since Vladimir Putin invaded, and Ukrainian flags are even adorned on the side of Narva Castle behind me and the City Hall. There's also a poster put up by a protest group showing people directly in Russia claims that Vladimir Putin is a war criminal.
Притулися золотою своей головой. Жуешь ветер, жуешь ветра, жуешь тихо шепочет на твоей улыбке ответ.
Well, while we were filming that on the waterfront earlier, there was a confrontation between a family that were quite clearly supportive of Russia and had been sat watching the Victory Day parade from the Estonian side of the border and the Free Estonians unfurling the Ukrainian flag. There was quite a bit of shouting. At one point, the two came fairly close together, and actually the military police in a military police van came along the waterfront and spoke to the gentleman with the Ukrainian flag to say that if anything escalated beyond a confrontation into physical violence, there was actually nothing the police would be able to do to help. During the shouting, I'm told that the Russian, a lad who couldn't have been older than maybe 17 or 18 years old, told the Estonians with the Ukrainian flag that if there were no police here at all, I would throw you in the river. And what the Estonians said that underlines is that it is not just an age gap, it's not just older people in this city who maybe settled or had parents that settled from the Soviet Union that support Russia. There's actually a lot of young people here who have sympathy or support Russia or what Vladimir Putin is doing in Ukraine quite a bit more than Ukraine's right to defend itself.
Суворовского военного училища. Командует парадным расчетом полковник Игорь Якимов. В этом году училище отмечает 80 кавалера Ордена Мужества. На марше слушатели общевойсковой академии вооруженцы Российской армии. Среди них герои Российской Федерации Виталий Антонов, Снабиев. Мимо трибун проходят курсанты военно-материально-технического обеспечения имени генерала армии Хрулева, а служащих женщин. Возглавляет парадный строй подполковник Мария Васильева. В составе расчета будущие специалисты войск связи, радиационной, химической и биологической защиты, психологи родственников, следуя девизу «Честь службе отечественной военной техники». Музыкальное сопровождение парада осуществляет сводный военный оркестр Московского гарнизона под руководством главного военного дирижера, заслуженного артиста России, генерал-майора Тимофея Колонны. В ее составе 61 единица боевой техники. По традиции открывает прохождение техники легендарный танк Великой Отечественной войны Т-34. На Красной площади командует парадным расчетом капитан Александр Стоянов. Впервые на Красной площади представлены образцы с колесной формулой 4х4 и защищенных санитарных автомобилей «Линза», предназначенных для решения задач всестороннего обеспечения бригады и 448-й ракетной бригады внезапными и мощными ударами на